Stream is back live. All right. So yeah, we're gonna take a really quick break. Sorry guys for all the technical difficulties. Um, but thank you again to Undefeated at Locals and Viva Las Foils for sponsoring this tournament. We'll be back very shortly. All right, everybody. I think I got it sorted. Let me know if you can see both Zach and I. It's good on my end, so we'll see how it goes throughout the rest of the day. Hopefully, it's not too grainy, not too low quality. There, we're trying a lot of different stuff. Right before the tournament, Zach pointed out to me that I cannot be streaming our Discord call at the same time as watching the games, which in the past I've been able to use my video feed while watching the Discord calls. So we got a little setup here. We're working it out. This is my first time streaming a tournament that wasn't on TTS. Is also a big part of it. So that is all my previous tournament experience has been like through digital clients and things where I can display capture. But that round one, that was pretty exciting. It was one sided, which is not what you want necessarily, right, as a spectator most of the time. But you can't lie. The exact lethal with the ultimate suspense of I know these three are hits. I can't use them to like their full effect because that would have been what 9 damage just from those three alone if you could respond with them. And then the cycle, the one last card reveal for the exact lethal.
It was it was so crazy. Such a good moment. We love to see those types of just just moments in the game, right? It's hard to put into words exactly, but I love to see that type of stuff happen.
Yeah, I mean, you were a big tri-gravity beam enthusiast for a while there. I know at least you played it in, pretty much required reading in Ghidorah. Um, what do you think
Funnily
about
enough,
the?
I was the one person not playing it in Ghidorah.
Wait, really? I could have sworn. Am I tripping? I thought you had
It's
three.
St. Louis. I was the one person not playing it.
Oh, not at all. No shot. I'm thinking of a different.
Yeah,
But you played Evil, right?
I did. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I might be thinking of William Anderson the third because I think he also played Evil.
He played it in Atlanta,
Okay.
and he had three in his top cut deck in Atlanta.
Ah, okay. Well, then that's where I'm getting confused. That is, I will say a lot of the Ghidorah decks look very similar. Just like a lot of these death decks in general, right? Like these death aggro six handers. They have a lot of the same shell, whether they're the Yahtzee Mill deck, whether it's the risky encounter style, like everything that's powerful on death seems really powerful in every death character, in every death deck.
Yeah, there's a couple of interesting ones that we don't see because of the way that the attune symbols work, and Wolfwood doesn't have the right symbols for some of the cool cards that work with the other death symbol cards. But um, you know the the death symbol does what it does. It plays the moves, plays range and weapon cards, and it mills and it blows up stuff and it stacks on damage with firepower.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, I'll say. And we saw Godzilla, who, spoiler, is the most represented character in this tournament, get taken down round one. So I think there's a lot of people who are going to be happy to hear that Godzilla does have, at least some bad luck games, right? Has some checks and balances within the format because there are a lot of people who have been, I'll say, upset at the prevalence of Godzilla. And so whenever you see like the meta threat, the most popular character get taken down, it's usually a good sign.
you know as one of the people who's been upset with Godzilla, uh it's not that the deck can't be beaten, it's that it's boring.
Right. It's so whenever there's like a good aggro deck in this game, it is never what people consider interesting. And that might be true of like every card game, maybe, but at the very least in other card games they're like much more respected because like the far end, like the far spectrum of control is just as boring. Right? Like when you're playing Magic against like a blue white control deck that is a permission deck where you have to ask permission to play the game, and there's a deck that just red deck that stomps it on turn two, people respect that because they don't want to play against either of those decks.
At least with permission decks, there's some like counterplay, right? You can try to trick them. You can play your bait spell to try to get the counter spell out, and then either respond to force the thing you want through, or you play your bait and then they counter that, and then you get the one you actually wanted to land through. With the Godzilla decks, they're just like, hey, here's my City Rampage, here's my 40 damage.
Yeah, or if it's not City Rampage, it's I'm gonna commit and freeze your best foundation. I'm gonna commit your asset. I'm gonna never fail my checks, and everything is for 9, right?
Yeah, but and again, it's not that they can't be beat. I'll tell you, I lost a game in testing the other day as Godzilla to a death deck. You want to know what happened, Sam? I triple krakened them
Ripple
on turn 2. They built 5. I built 5. They built 5. I triple krakened them, and then they killed me. They dealt 34 on 2 foundations.
on 4
On 2.
on 2 foundations,
Yeah, they had double Colossus SWAT. Check the 5 on both of them.
bruh. That is uh yeah, that's the universes that we play, I mean, as somebody who, wants to pontificate about long real UFS and big boards and, navigate the board, like sometimes doing exactly that is navigating the board. Like sometimes that counts. So, I can't poo-poo it.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, man, I guess. I don't know what I was supposed to do. I froze 3 of your 5 foundations and then just lost anyway.
Yeah. All right, we've got less than 15 minutes left in this round, plus the potential overtime 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and let's take another break. I'm gonna finish preparing the character breakdowns, maybe get some better resolution here on the on our cameras here. And let us know in the chat, guys. Let us know, what do you want to see? What do you want to see on the stream match, and let me know what round I should do the box giveaway, because that's going to be a random round throughout the day, basically whenever I feel like it. If you're in Twitch chat at the time of the giveaway, you're going to get an additional entry into the giveaway, and if you signed up for the tournament, you get 5 giveaway entries. So lots of ways to win. You don't even have to be in the tournament to win a box, but of course, it does greatly increase your chances. So please, guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We're wrapping up round one. It looks like there is less than a minute on the overtime. So, depending on how the one game it looks like we've got going finishes out, we may have like a 0-0 tie. I don't know what game count they're in, but there's a lot of 1-1 ties. We've already got a lot of ties recorded, and quite a few 1-0s as well. So the webcam time limit rules coming into play. They're not any different than normal time limit rules. It's just webcam things take a bit longer, right, Zach? You got to talk a bit more, confirm a few more things, make sure everyone's on the same page before we move on.
Yeah, everything just is a little slower. You gotta play at a faster pace whenever you're on webcam. Really pick it up, in my opinion. I think I think our game has a little bit of a slow play problem, not intentionally, but I think we sometimes just have a bit of a lackadaisical pace, and that gets exacerbated on webcam a little bit.
Yeah, let me see if I can fix your echoing. I thought I had it sorted, but I guess not. We will check into that, but that's so. Oh, you know what it is? I bet it's because. All right, Zach, try talking now. Can you guys hear him when he talks there or no? I don't know if they can hear you if I do that. No, okay, so it's weird. It's the video ninja is just playing you twice. Like I have nothing else. Like you're not coming through my speakers. We do want to pour one out for Templar. Yeah, like I genuinely have no idea why Zach would be getting picked up twice.
Is it the same reason you were getting picked up twice, maybe?
Am I getting picked up twice?
We were before, right?
Hmm. We'll see if I do that. They can't hear you, and I think I can't hear you. Oh. Yeah, if you're talking, I can't hear you. um. Echo cancellation is on too. Is Zach playing through your speakers? He is not. Well, so I am running desktop audio and Video Ninja as a capture source, but when I mute the desktop audio, you guys can't hear him. But that's the only thing I can disable in OBS. Try talking now, Zach.
Yeah, it looks like round one has been finalized, and we're waiting on round two to start.
I think that
And
was
can
still
you
a
hear
little.
them?
I think that was still a little echoey. From the browser capture, this is too much. At least we have IT guys in in the chat.
Oh, I'm still in the table.
Control audio, shut down source. How do I mute the video source from the browser capture? Yeah, round two is about to start. Undo. I don't see how to mute it from here. I wish I did. If I hit control audio, it messes up the video. Like it literally makes Zach disappear. So I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Let him
Uh,
echo for round two.
yeah, I think that's. I have no idea how to fix this. I'm really sorry. I have literally no idea where I can mute one of these things. Because if I mute it in OBS, they can't hear you. And if I mute you in video, they can't hear you. And yet I can't just pick one or the other.
How bad is the echo?
Sometimes it's kind of bad. Sometimes it's not bad at all. At least on my end. But we need to pick a table. So I'll let you continue to pick tables out while I try to troubleshoot the audio.
I'm down for table 5. It looks like we got Andrew Peratt and Ross Aubrey.
Okay, table 5. That seems good to me. Let's make our way down there. Now we can pop on over to the webcam overlay. So we'll see on the tournament overlay, there's no source with you from video. So we'll see if you echo through here. Maybe that'll give us a clue on how to fix it.
That's fair.
Because now you're not echoing. So I don't know what the fuck is going on.
So it is definitely the video ninja call.
Yeah, so it's definitely that tab where it is a browser source. We figured that much out.
I wonder if you just mute that in OBS then.
I cannot do that. That's what I'm trying to explain. There is no
Really?
place for me to do that. I've been looking at every option I can look at, like cannot find it. That's what Linoco said, and like when I did that, they couldn't hear you. Like if I mute the desktop audio, they can't hear you. And if I click control sound in OBS, it messes up the video and the echo doesn't go away.
Okay, well,
So
we'll figure it out between rounds, maybe.
Yeah, we'll keep working on it.
I mean, lined up.
People are here for the gameplay, anyways, right? Like it's they'll put us on mute.
This round we have Andrew Peratt, I believe, is going to be on Emir. It's a deck he's been working on for a while. It really likes, and I cannot tell what Ross is playing.
I cannot tell what Ross is playing either. Hopefully, we get a little fixer upper there. That is rough quality.
Appears to have 29 health.
Say what now?
The character appears to have 29 health.
Okay. I can potentially hunt this information down. Give me 1 second here. Ymir going second.
Sacrifice.
Ymir going second though is one of the better going second characters.
We have a Wild Wild Pussycats. This is a great opener.
Yeah, this is a huge turn 1 play.
And we picked up an alt art that I'm not familiar with. I think it's from the Deku deck. So okay. Ross is playing Bionic Menace. I can see it now. The quality has improved.
Okay. Bionic Menace. That makes sense. I was searching 29 health characters. So Wild Wild Pussycats into a new training method. We're almost certainly gonna see a 6 build here. It's really gonna come down to how many cards does Andrew want to hold to play defense. And if I have to guess, in this format, it's not many.
It looks like he's holding 1. If I can read his hand right.
Yeah, did we get an 8 build? How many is this? I can't even count. There's too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have an 8 build. So at a moment's notice, we can transform with that form as soon as we are allowed to start attacking. So that is incredible.
And are you familiar? What is this? What is the card he built two of? I think this is an alt art for the Deku deck, but I don't recognize this one.
Um, I want to say it's the one diff where when you block with it, you can commit a foundation to change the zone.
Okay. And
I
it
don't know what
also
it's
like
called off the
flips for
top of my
minus two
head.
speed or commits for minus two speed
It
or
flips
something.
for -2 speed.
Okay. And on the Bionic Menace side, we're leading with a stun 2 move, which means this is probably Attack Titan's Haymaker.
Yes.
It looks like we hit it with a -3 speed from the resting up, which means we probably have a block for it. Which means he
And
held an attack.
and hopefully it's we check either a foundation or we get something else, because if we do block this attack, it will be the only block of the turn.
We're not gonna pick up. We're not gonna pick it up though. We're just gonna eat it. And if I was Ross here, I would stop. And he does.
Oh, sorry, we have a 23 health on Ymir. 21. Let me get that fixed up real quick. A little bit of the inflated AOT health totals. Jedi Wookie, thank you for the follow. Hope you're enjoying some crisp universes action this 2025. Speaking of crisp, we're transforming this turn, right?
If we have like a Tetra Terror or a defeating the Colossus Titan. Oh, actually, yes, because there's no reason not to. The backside of a mirror is just better. But um
Every now and then, that little bit of health you lose on the front side might matter, but you're right. Typically, you want the lose 3 health, dual needle lunge, or Tetra Terror as your enabler, you know?
yeah, the big thing for me is like if I can't get any value from the gain life, the ability to build in a foundation on my next aggressive turn is actually pretty important. Like,
Right.
if I'm not doing anything here as Andrew, the -3 speed for the backside of a mirror is important. That's good. But on my next turn, I've got to play on real progressive now. I don't get to just like build one in the middle of my turn. And we're just seeing a build out here. He's going to go to Deadlock, probably.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine you're gonna force the issue. I was gonna say, the difference between building like an immortal shapeshifter out of your hand can be the difference of like 5 to 10 damage easily over the course of a turn with this deck. So the new training method's picking up some really spicy ones. You love to see the vast strength. Desperate Plea and Meeting Hanji are gonna let you play your whole hand. They're going to let you play your whole hand in incredibly efficient ways and allow you to be really greedy here. I mean, this is the life symbol in general, but also kind of Ymir's specialty. The deck is built to build the foundations, right? It's meant to have the big stage, and it's going to be on Ross to present those threats. And we do have double deadlock in our stage on the zero diffs already. But I don't know how effective they're going to be. They are target commit one foundation, so vast strength and pump up look like obvious targets at first. But maybe that meeting Hanji is the key to success here.
Yeah, I could also see hitting Desperate Plea. I could see hitting um, resting up, depending on what your aggressive turn looks like,
Ooh.
to take away the speed hate. Is this Ice Sword?
This is Nice Sword, so this is going to pick a card, any card, and commit all copies of, well, not any card, but any foundation, and commit all copies of that foundation.
Or it's going to eat the Vast Strings.
Yeah, or it's going to remove the vast strength, which is probably what you'd end up picking most of the time, anyways, right?
it depends on what your plans for these your finished are. I think if it was me and I was going to use the your finished, I probably would name the one he has two of, and then hit the vast strength with the your finished.
I see. I
Um,
see.
but it doesn't matter because it got fast strength.
Yeah, removing that
Yeah,
bash strength plus having the immortal shapeshifter means it might not be too difficult to get out of deadlock. Mir is so good at bursting up those first two build turns, but it might be the kind of thing where we temper our way back down to like 10 foundations, and that way we can sort of, cruise from there. But looks like we commit the character for the -3 speed, gonna bring it back down to 4.
truthfully, with these board states, I don't know that I would bother getting out of deadlock. I think Ross's deadlock threats require him to commit his foundations right now. And I think in Drew's position, I would consider that me winning the game.
Correct, but if it passes back to me on my first attack, I have to not let my rival commit my immortal shapeshifters, right?
Well, if Ross commits them on his own turn, then
Right, but that's what I'm saying is
they're
he's
up.
not going to do that. He's going to do it on Andrew's first attack. And that's something Andrew doesn't want either. So if he doesn't get out of deadlock now, when Andrew plays an attack and he has to destroy two foundations to get back down to 10, that's going to allow Ross to commit the thing that destroys foundations for him.
He's got a brief respite on board. He'll be okay.
He'll be all
Emir will
right. Is that what
Emir
we're
will
saying?
figure it out.
Yeah, brief respite is sure is a one diff immortal a lot of the time.
Emir will simply figure out a way to gain 10 life in a turn, over 17 instances of it somehow. I've never seen a character. I don't know why this character is uncapped. We just wanted this to be able to give plus 40 damage. We've got. Is this a besieged coming in from Ross?
It looks like a besieged, and this is one of the thornier attacks that I truly thought was going to sort of take over the format, just because of how difficult it is to block things like determined advance. You're going to want to hold those good block mods, but Besiege says you have to hold the bad ones, right? So waiting for your deck to really combine those two together. I mean, the deadlock threat basically doubles the damage as well. So we've got Ymir down to 12, but that's kind of what Ymir wants. We now have all this life to gain. So by the end of this turn, if we draw any number of attacks, which we've seen now 2 rounds in a row, it looks like, the player on the top side of the stream, for the layout, has been the less aggressive one. So Ross has a ton,
I
by the way. Ross has a ton of targeted foundation commit.
Do you think it's gonna matter though? If Drew has attacks, he's gonna go bananas on this first one. He's gonna gain 3 instances of life gain at minimum on this first one.
If Drew checks well, it won't matter. But if he checks poorly throughout the whole string, I think it will. And this is not the opener you're used to. This is a rejuvenating smash as the first card of the turn. So no gain to
Oh,
draw two, and we're gonna use meeting Hanji to discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards as our first enhance.
yeah, which means we're probably digging, and that's not a good spot to be in
Yeah, so for these
because then
league
we're gonna get the
invitations,
immortal committed.
Drew looks like he has enough foundations to pass all these checks, but again, only if we're checking fives on all of them, and we'd have to be checking fives on all of our attacks as well to put together like a truly healthy string here. And we see the immortal shapeshifter and the brief respite get committed pretty much immediately. So it's not undoable by any means, but for Ross's game plan, you gotta feel pretty good.
Yeah, this was an interesting set of sequencing from Andrew's side. If we wanted to have an aggressive turn here, I think we were supposed to do the Immortal Shapeshifter first, no matter what, or the Brief Respite first, no matter what. Even if we
Um,
didn't have the gas already, just to get 3 instances of life gain online.
well, if we didn't like our hand and then the meeting Hanji gets committed, we're stuck with that hand. So I understand that priority, but you might be right. You know, if we draw the attacks but we don't have the stat pumps, what good is it? But what good are the stat pumps if we don't draw the attacks either? So this is kind of what I was talking about, where like if Drew was at 10 hell or at 10 foundations to start this turn, he could have done all of his enhances the way he wanted to.
I just don't think there's any world where the first thing that gets committed wasn't the Immortal Shapeshifter, right?
If
And,
my
and so I
rival
think
is
you can go
already,
Brief Respite.
I don't know, if my rival's already used it, I mean, the first thing I'm probably committing might be pump up in that case. If my rival uses the shapeshifter as the first enhance, maybe I don't target the Hanji, but that was definitely Drew's fear. And that might be something that Ross can clue in on, right? Maybe Ross can tell because of that priority that the hand is maybe not so good.
This is my favorite card in. I think I said Armored Titan Rush is my favorite card in AOT two.
You
I
did.
lied. It's this one.
Which one is this?
This is defeating the Colossus Titan. I'm fairly confident. The Obsidians are hard to
Oh,
read, but
this is one of the best Ymir attacks of all time.
okay. We only burned 3 though, so we only want this one to be 11 speed, not 13 speed.
Yeah, an interesting amount for sure. We don't have the full suite of life gain at our disposal. I do wish I could tell exactly how big this is. I think it's at 10 damage
it,
now.
it's a 6 high for 6 base, and so he got 4. It's 12 damage right now,
Okay. We're down
and
to 18? No, 16
16. Yeah.
on Bionic side, and I'm not messing with the the Ymir health during attacks. We're gonna fix those after the resolution of each attack, or I'd be here all day. But it's 11 to 16. Oh no. It's about to be 11 to 0 in a second here.
So we ran away that one. We didn't actually take the 16. Um,
Correct.
but now we're getting smoked by the second one. Is this actually for 16 though? This one is.
It's
Oh,
what
this
you
is
lose.
exactly for 16 after the powerful.
You
This
lose
is crazy.
5
This is
life.
another Exacties.
You lose 5 life for 5 damage, right?
No, you lose 5 life versus 5 speed, but then if you're less than half, it gets 4. And then Emir is going to give it 3 from 3 instances of life gain. And then it has powerful 3. This is going to be for exactly 16.
This is the second time on screen. There's no way you block this unless we have a Vaden
No,
copy
it's
on the
13.
order symbol.
It's 13 speed. I think Andrew's only presenting it as 11, but I don't know why we wouldn't have made it for 13.
Yeah, especially looking at the way our stage has turned completely sideways, and he's gonna
Yeah,
lay it
he
down.
hits it
That
for
was
Exacties, which just
wow. That's not the normal Ymir attack turn that we're used to. But you mentioned your favorite AOT2 card. I mean, it seems tailor made for Ymir 1, doesn't it?
yeah. Oh man, I built an AOT Spotlight deck. We had a 3K Spotlight tournament, and that was the centerpiece of my Emir deck because it allows you to actually just aggress from anywhere. You can be at full as Emir and just be like, oh, actually, Blitz burn 5.
Right.
Now I'm online.
That I mean, that's basically where we were at. He burned like down to exactly 10, I guess. So that helped a lot. But even through the runaway, right, we were able to, with just Ymir's damage pump and basically the abilities on the attack, we were able to take our opponent out. So absolutely incredible stuff. That is how you overcome the resource denial that the order symbol was doing, right? I talked about how we have a lot of these powerful commit abilities, and Andrew's going to have to check fives on all of his attacks. And instead of playing like a big long string of four diffs, he just played two six diffs through card pool clogs. So those attacks were on a seven and on a nine, and that was through multiple targeted commit effects. Had absolutely no damage from his stage. That was, I mean, heartbreaking if you're on Ross's side, really.
Yeah, we don't need any. We don't need to string out four diffs. We just play giant ones.
Yeah.
We've moved past four diff spam and on to seven diffs. Okay, Sam, we're in the AOT format now.
It's so funny because we have the Wolfwood in round one that was spamming four diffs for like 9 damage into Godzilla, who usually spams five diffs for 9 plus damage. And now we've got a deck playing back to back six diffs on ridiculously high difficulty counts. And, you know, I gotta put it this way. Um, without the deadlock foundations, he would not have been able to make that turn possible, because even though the Ross would not get to do the deadlock targeted commits, those seven checks from the league invitations would have been way more punishing and still committed like those same cards. Only this time we wouldn't have had the extra foundations necessary to play a six diff on a nine. So in the long run, it was definitely the right call to keep all of those foundations and be at, what were we at, 14, 15 foundations at the end?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, ultimately the only thing I would have done different is the brief respite first. But what enabled that turn, what enabled the Exactsies, is the meeting Hanji, because it grabbed in the momentum to make that powerful work. So Andrew
True.
ultimately like played the turn perfectly.
And
Every piece of sequencing he did on that turn had to go exactly the way he did it.
yeah, and I wouldn't have been surprised if one of those six tips we drew off the meeting Hanji, which it really begs the question. If you watch this video back and you're Ross, you know, obviously he didn't get the opportunity to commit the Hanji, but is that even the foundation you would have chosen? If we did the brief respite first, or we did the immortal shapeshifter first, are you hitting the meeting Hanji, or are you hitting the other life gain enabler? I think is a wonderful question to ask.
And yeah, we're gonna see Ross going again, going first again. Is there any world where you choose to go second against Emir?
Wow, I mean, we keep looking for a reason to go second, right? We keep asking the question, is there a time and a place for it? And I don't think I've ever found one. It never seems completely correct in a world where you have a fantastic offense, right? Like if you have an offense where you can just build, you know, five foundations and go off, I don't think that'll ever be the case. It would take a slower deck, maybe more akin to the Elder Takuros, but they want to have a build turn before you attack anyways, right? So it never seems to ever work out on paper. I got people in the chat
I don't
saying,
know what I don't know what Andrew's deck looks like, but I know the Emir decks I've built are pretty greedy. And when I go first as Emir, I sometimes only get three builds off.
yeah, there is like this weird valley. Like if you're looking at, you know, games where you win going first versus games where you lose going first, there's like this strange valley where you have that bad mulligan and you build like 2 or 3 foundations, and then you don't feel like you got player one advantage, even though you still technically did. Like you still had a better shot to build out in front of the rival and review and do things, control the pace a bit. But there is definitely games where your opponent builds 6 going second, sculpted, the immaculate 7 card hand with a +1 block mod to keep them alive. And that's what terrorized all of, I think, year 2 MHA. Like sets, 3, 4, 5. That's basically the metagame. Was if you didn't go first and build 5, you really wanted to be going second and building 6.
Yeah, the zero diff spam meta.
Yeah. The build 5 every game chaos meta. Speaking of build 5, we do get that Attack Titans Haymaker, a really good opener for Bionic Menace. Stun 2 wears the +2/+2 stats pretty well. And Andrew is basically committed out here. We've got a Macho concealment that I don't expect to do a whole lot, especially in the face of what I'm assuming is another Attack Titan Haymaker. It's a little tough to tell.
This looks like it just got stunned, so it has to be, I guess. This looks like it has green in it, but the fact that the Machos is now committed leads me to believe that it's the case.
Yeah, we definitely had a stun on this attack somewhere. It might not be Attack Titan
Oh, this is a
Haymaker.
walk dog.
It's a what?
Low attack, according to the calculator.
Oh, it is a Walk the Dog, which is also stun 1. Which is
And we're going to
also
get a sacrifice for the cause here to really put some pressure on.
I'm down to 12. That's pretty good, but you don't want to leave Ymir with all that health to gain back up. You really got to put the screws to him. Is this a second Walk the Dog? Oh, I need better resolution. Is there any way I can up this on my end?
This is a second Walk the Dog, yeah.
Oh no, not like this. Not like this. This is with sacrifice for the cause. I mean, this is what, 8 damage plus a block modifier?
Yeah.
He's doing the math.
He's block mod. This is over. If we have like a runaway, this is over.
Oh! Boom! Why would you say that? Why would you know? How did you know? Look at the little shrug he did too. He's like, all right, runaway, let's do it. How did you know that he had the runaway to discard? No.
I'm good at the game, Sam. I know how this works.
No shot. You're officially a commentator now. That's all it takes. It's so weird how many times I'll be, talking through a line of play, and I think it might be like the most, because usually when I'm doing commentary, I'll say this. I try to talk about what is the best possible scenario for a player. And I've been lambasted in the past for, coming up with like, well, if this, then this, then this, like, how does a player get out of like a bad situation? But usually I'm just saying like, what's the best scenario for either player? And I promise you, like 75-80% of the time, if you're talking about the player on offense, they do exactly what you're talking about. And it's so crazy. Because that's by and large the best block mod you can discard.
Yeah, they just always have it. I don't know what universe people think we live in where the offense player doesn't just have it.
Where they don't always have it. Yeah, I mean, that's why we don't hit the meeting Hanji, right? Because they just already have it.
So Andrew is going to looks like choose to go first. He is confident in his deck's ability to build 5, even going first. That was an exciting one, man. Ross's deck really put the screws to him on that one. Sacrifice for a cause is such a beater of a card. You don't see it in every like on symbol fire deck, but the ones that could take advantage of it, it really puts in the work.
Yeah. I mean, oh. Sorry, I'm still caught up on the fact that this is one of those games where players will look back and they'll go, "Well, I feel like I did everything right." Because that opening move, the Attack Titans Haymaker, you know, you've got the right block mod for it. You don't know what other stun moves are coming out, and you don't want to lose that big of a chunk, right? And it feels like the right thing to do, even as Ymir, where you do want to lose some health. And we committed out to allow the actual threats in, which are those walk the dogs, and that is the mini game that Walk the Dog has been playing with basically every character that isn't Toga 3. Like Toga 3 stuns you out and gets to play them willy-nilly. But like every other character is just saying, I'm gonna put a disgusting amount of damage, maybe play one or two other stun or commit cards, you know, like Nice Sword Execution and the stun 2 moves. And for the most part, I'm just gonna force you to block your way into getting Walk the Dog.
Yeah, I mean, like Godzilla plays Walk the Dog, right? And that
Mm-hmm.
deck doesn't even stun you otherwise. It's just like, hey, here's a big one, block it. Oh, you blocked it, walk the dog.
Yeah, I think when I played Godzilla, the only commit cards I had in the deck were Vast Hybrid Chimera Krakens, and I played two copies of Titanic Combat. And I put those in like almost exclusively for I should have a card other than Vast Hybrid that commits something. So
What is the secret rare that Ross just checked?
the secret rare, I have no idea.
I Me either. Oh well. Guess we'll
Looks like
find
we're
out later.
activating a Wild Wild Pussycats to get things started, trying to find the
Yep.
right foundation to potentially build, but that's one I like to hold. I'm a big fan of the Vestige one diff that I'll eventually look up the name of. That basically allows you to commit a foundation to get a complete block on any attack. Absolutely one of my favorite effects I've seen come out from a recent universe's release. Ooh, we've got the Immortal Shapeshifter. It comes in committed. You know why I like that, Zach?
It can't be frozen by something.
Well, it
Not that
can
we're
be
playing
frozen
those.
by something if our rival has momentum, and like generic freeze effects, but it means that it can't get forcibly committed for a turn cycle. It means it won't be a target for other nasty effects, but if we were playing Chaos, it would also protect it from Vast Hybrid. That is correct. Gonna pick up a +1 high block and play it. Okay. So we played both of our better blocks just to get up to, I believe we're at 10.
Well, zero diffs don't do anything. Zero plus one highs don't do anything against this deck, right? Like they don't block Haymaker or Besiege.
True, they don't block Walk the Dog. I see where we're coming from. It does block Ice Sword Execution.
Yeah, he has another high block somewhere, probably. Hopefully for
That's
him.
true. So let's see what we can do. I think this is the first game where Ymir got to go first. I think we had. Oh, I should probably move it to round 2 on the screen. There's so much to
Yeah,
update.
yeah. This was the first game Amir got to go first. Looks like she's gonna be ready to flip on turn 3. For Ross, we've got a low attack from Attack on Titan that I don't recognize.
Hmm.
It's got to be an order card, probably. Could be.
Why is he mainboarding Waylay? I don't think he is mainboarding Waylay. This is game 3. I would assume it's coming out of the sideboard. Like, was it 29-20? We just haven't reset the
Uh,
health total. Oh no, he counted that
no,
partial block.
no,
There we go. Okay, so
Yeah, because
Well,
Ross just blocked, or sorry, Drew just blocked with a Mikasa's Flying Knee, which is a breaker 2 block, and then built it down with Desperate Plea.
very cool little play. I don't know if we have a way to retrieve it from our face downs, but Desperate Plea being able to ramp any card is very cool and very deserving of the forecheck. Of all the forechecks that I've seen from the Attack on Titan products, at least, Desperate Plea definitely feels like right there. One difficulty, so I can put it in most decks. 4 control, so I probably need to be playing either a big stage deck or like a check bonuses deck if I want to do strings. Um, Maybe my favorite card from AOT2.
Desperate Plea is cool. I really like it. I was a big Manly Passionate Guy fan,
Yeah.
and then they just keep giving the life symbol all the earth symbol effects, and that makes me a little sad. But
The life symbol definitely became the build's face downs in Attack on Titan. So um, it's really testy whether you believe AOT greatly reinforced symbol identity or absolutely destroyed it. And I think it really changed it in a lot of ways that it can be difficult to dissect. It just changed it, and we haven't really adapted to what the new symbol identity is rather than acting like it's strengthened or weakened. But dual needle lunge, definitely the opener that Ymir wants to see because of that health loss.
yeah, and we opened with Immortal Shapeshifter or Brief Respite. I didn't couldn't tell which, but we double checked because we have 2 Immortal Shapeshifters. So we're gonna be at like 3, 4 instances of life gain on this first attack by the time all is said and done.
Yeah, and Ross opting to commit the defensive piece here, maybe calling the bluff and sort of admitting that there's nothing he can really do defensively to stem the tide of triple health gain enabler. Um, we're back up to, so we started at 20. We went up to 22, down to 19. We're back up to 22. So I believe
And
we've gained 5 life this turn already.
yeah, this hit for
Oof.
11. So that means we gained 6 life this turn.
Well, the immortal I think gave +1
Oh, true.
by itself. Yeah, it's so tough to keep track of all this stuff. Like, if you're someone who likes to count things on dice and have multiple, storm counts going, Ymir is a good character for you because that life gain storm count is a big deal. We're at 1818 or 1819. Double dual needle. So here's the issue with Ymir. That first one we said was for 11. Do you know what the bad part about that is, Zach?
Go ahead.
That is the smallest attack Ymir is going to play this turn. They only get bigger, in fact.
This looks rough for Ross. I don't know what he's going to do to get out of this position. These moves are fast.
Yeah, you got to take the first couple moves and then hopefully in this scenario run away the last one to survive at like sub 5 health.
And we just keep hitting them. We keep hitting the 5 checks. And Andrew is cannibalizing his stage pretty harshly. If we somehow don't kill, we're going to be in a bit of danger.
Oh, it's so
We've got to
big.
block this. We have to block this one, though, right? I don't. This is block or run away or die, I think.
I think that's where we're at. I think that's the real trick with Runaway. Oh, okay. We're gonna choose. I was gonna
But
say
we
the issue with Runaway is against a deck like Ymir, like we have a clear card pool. The first moves are not the ones you really want to block. But if you don't block this one, you can't afford Runaway. right?
Yeah.
And he's lucky that we don't have the incredible display out. I don't know if Andrew's even running it, but incredible display would completely shut down what has been Ross's only real defense. But uh entering the Titan Forest, only gonna get the not gonna get the bonus damage or any of the blitz effects really. But this Ymir damage I think is gonna be enough.
I This is lethal, right? And it's 6 speed. Can Ross even block this?
With a +1 mid block, and if he checks a 6. Double runaway turn, there's no way Ross is that guy. He could be him.
This has EX. Oh my god.
Yes,
It's over.
it also has EX2.
He has double runaway. He checked another 3. It's over.
Oh,
Oh
he
man.
absolutely destroys himself. Ross was almost him. We were almost him. Darn, man. Okay. Well, now, see, Andrew's not showing a third attack or a fourth attack. So I'm wondering if the double runaway would have done it. I wanted to see Andrew put his hand down, but it looks like he's not telling. Because imagine if the double runaway was enough.
Oh, these have been some games today. They got me jazzed up.
Hey, it's one of those things where I don't really know exactly how to put it, but there's been, some poo pooing on the format, and there's definitely a lot of really powerful cards and combinations that people might not enjoy the power level of, but you can't act like there isn't interaction, right? You can't act like there isn't important decisions being made in these games, and it's tough because I do think a lot of these decisions are born from bad situations that don't have a good answer, and you're trying to play to your outs between two bad choices. And I think that's really where the frustration comes from. As a player, you go, both of these are bad. One of these might be correct, but there's a good chance neither one matters. And identifying, like playing through that mental state is so difficult.
For sure. And if you're Ross there, like, what were you going to do? You if you block the first one, he checked a 3, so he was not going to be able to pass the second runaway no matter what, right? Like,
Correct.
there's nothing he did there was going to work. He made the best decision he could, and it just wasn't in the cards.
Yeah. All right. So let me see if we can't fix this audio issue really quick. I'm gonna need you to keep speaking for me here. But I'm gonna try to deafen you through the video, and maybe it'll pick up on the computer.
I lost you, Sam.
Huh.
I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I don't hear you.
So if I deafen you in the video, I can hear you, but you're still echoing.
Oh, I hear you now. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. I have no idea how to fix this. I really don't. People are saying mute it through the OBS, but I have control audio via OBS. But if I click that, it like makes the window weird, and I don't know why. It makes everything fuzzy. Let me try that. Let me see. Let me see if you echo now.
Testing.
Okay, so you don't echo, but we lost all the video quality. Oh no, it fixed itself. Oh, maybe I just had to wait. Maybe I just had to wait for it to fix itself. But
Well,
we're back. We're live on the screen again.
technology, baby.
I have no idea. I'm just pressing buttons, guys. I'm just hitting buttons. Hopefully, all of you can hear Zach out there as well. I'm waiting for the chat to just tell me now we can't hear you, and I just muted you. But yeah, no, that was so tough. We are getting the chat confirming that Ross was mainboarding the waylays. Hey, far be it from me to assume that they were coming out of the sideboard, because it has been that often talked about card that's only good in like super specific matchups, right? But really well played by both players. I'm glad we got a game 3 from round 2.
Yeah, it's the Waylay is something. No Block King is the one in chat, is a teammate of mine, and he's been telling me that Waylay needs to be in people's main boards, and I keep telling him no, but you know, looks like
It's
Ross is here to prove him right.
yeah, Waylay is that one card where if it just did one other thing, like it's built like a Magic the Gathering sideboard card, It's built like in a I do one thing, this one thing absolutely hoses certain strategies in certain decks, and you really don't like me anywhere else. And I feel like in a previous iteration of the game, this card would have like a stun 1, it would have like an EX2 on it, it would have something, if this thing is happening, maybe like commit a foundation, whatever, like it'd be doing one other thing.
Yeah, it feels like it's a silver bullet card that came a little bit too late.
Right, it's like Amajiki got pushed out by 9 damage moves more than he got pushed out by Waylay.
and moves that can't have their damage reduced, right? Like,
Right, yes, and moves that can't have their damage reduced, moves that uh there was already like some momentum hate in the format that was doing okay too, as far as like just actual targeted momentum hate.
when we brought back Instant Shining Flash, which was a big hate card for specific momentum already.
Yep, definitely one of my favorites. I still see that card get played quite often on all 3 of its symbols, truly. Especially if you need those keywords. So that was it's funny, that was not an unexpected way for that game to go, and yet it was still so surprising. I don't really know how else to put it. It was definitely high octane.
Yeah, it's two. There's a two high octane decks, right? Like the Mecha Godzilla deck that the Let's Talk UVS team has been working on, Ross especially, puts out a lot of numbers. It's playing a lot of high quality cards. Back Alley Haymaker, or not not Back Alley, Attack Titans Haymaker, Besiege, Ice Sword Execution, Walk the Dog. These are just obscene cards.
Yeah, definitely like high quality offense. Omni TCG, you just missed it. Ymir did win, but I doubt it was in the way you were expecting. I am absolutely like so interested in knowing if Andrew had another attack. I didn't see if he put his hand down or not. But I would absolutely love to find out that he didn't have another attack, and it really came down to that runaway check. He didn't. Oh my dude, he's so lucky. He literally went in there going, I bet he doesn't have 2 runaways, and really it was checking them. But I had full health. That's not an excuse in this format, bro. That's such a weak excuse.
Full health is
As a
having full health is just an
seven-hander?
excuse to die from full health.
How about you rephrase that and say, but I had 23 health. And listen to how many people think you're crazy. In this format?
You had 2 whole attacks worth of health.
Yeah, in this economy? Come on now. It would
uh,
it would certainly make a lot of sense if the entering the Titan Forest was drawing you cards, but also at the same time we have to remember that while it was the 3rd attack played, threw a runaway turn. That was still only on a 5, so you definitely might as well take the shot, right?
Oh, yeah, I don't think there was a reason not to play it, and I forgot that that card had EX, I guess, because it got fast.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to draw the correlation with Waylay, right? Like entering the Titan Forest, it has or entering Titan Forest, not the Titan Forest. It's got two abilities on it that are both generically pretty good, but have like limiters. And so they put the EX2 on there. So even when the two limiters aren't met, it still has like some game breaking potential. And so that's why like Waylay like looks so weird to me.
They're both cards that I struggle to actually finalize in a deck list. They make the first draft of deck list that has like 90 cards in it, and then by the time it's 65, they're off.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to mute up because I had people drag racing at 10 a.m. on a Saturday in my neighborhood. You'll love to see it.
That sounds like average
Yeah,
average West Coast.
that's fair. It could just be
Uh,
a West Coast thing.
I live in a nice, peaceful southern neighborhood. Nothing ever happens.
That makes sense. Oh, I have to update the sub goal. I got a stupid sub goal, but I figured why not. Uh, our sub goal for today is 25 subs pizza party. We're at 2 out of 25.
What's a pizza party? Are you buying people pizza, or are we buying you pizza?
Well, I'm gonna buy myself pizza, basically.
Okay, okay, okay.
It is basically at the end of the day, we will all enjoy some pizza together. Hopefully, if you have pizza.
I mean, I think by the end of the day, I'm gonna need some pizza. So
Yes, that's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm saying. It's about community vibes. It's about community pizza vibes. Hey, Jedi Wookie, thank you for the prime. We're at 3 out of 25.
I resubbed earlier today. I was one of the first two.
You were
I think
number
it was
one.
me, Lenoco, and Jedi. Yeah.
Yep, that's 3. We're at 3. I would love to I'd love to order some pies during top cuts, and then as soon as the tournament's over, we all just hang out, reminisce, have some fun, have some good eats. Make it a real chill environment.
I can't wait to see everybody in 3 weeks in Dallas.
3 weeks
It's
sounds
so
about right.
close, guys. It's so close.
Hey, Drew, thank you for the 10 months. Master George, thank you for the 12. That's a full year. We got a full year. That's 5. We're a fifth of the way to the sub goal. So thank you guys. Will I order pie to your apartment? I'm gonna say yes, and you're gonna find out if you sub. Top 3 gets pizzas added to the prize pool. So low key, one of the things I was thinking about was hosting a tournament before Worlds, and top 8 would like get a pizza party dinner on me. But that would be the only prizing. Like I couldn't afford to do boxes and like everything else. So, oh man, you didn't have to do that. Thank you. All right, well that's the sub goal. That's it,
We
guys.
did
We're
it,
getting
chat.
the
We figured it out.
we figured it out. Thank you, dude. Well, we hit the pizza party goal pretty fast. I'm gonna have to set that order up for later. That's a lot of gifted subs, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Disaster Dan says, I will say the most serious I've ever been in an event. The prize was cheese bread to the winner.
Peyton has been playing a little too much Marvel Rivals, I think.
Too much Marvel Rivals? Is there
Yeah,
such a thing?
this is the second Jarvis do something joke he has made in the chat today.
Oh, I see, I see. And that's
Crossfade
a
has also
callback.
noticed.
That's a callback to Overwatch, right? Isn't there like a robot where the gunslinger girl is like, robot, do something?
Oh, I never played Overwatch. Rivals is actually the first hero shooter that I've ever played.
Oh, fair enough. I never really played Overwatch. I tried it. Like I played Torbjorn and sat in the back with a turret, because I'm not good at shooters. But I just remember I heard a story. I think it was from Levi, who was like a huge Overwatch fan, and he was like, I used to have a friend, and we had like this inside joke where I'd be like, blah blah blah, do something, and it was like a beer pong story. I don't know. I don't know Overwatch that well. I played like 5 games of Rivals because Marvel Rivals is the kind of game I'll never solo queue, but it will always just be down to ruin your game in a group.
Oh man, you can't ruin my games any harder than Jacob does.
Fair.
He's
I'm kind of
so
glad to
bad.
hear that, I
I
guess.
Crossfade, we can jam some Rivals after the event. I need someone to carry me to gold because I keep getting the actual worst teams imaginable.
I was supposed to join your guys' Discord to play with Justin one night, I think, but it never like panned out. And again, it's just like it's one of those things where I'll never choose to do it myself. But if other people want to play games like that, I'm always down. You know?
Everyone should join the final round like community, not to shill on your channel, Sam.
Right.
We just play we played a lot of Marvel Rivals. On like weekend nights, we played till like 2 in the morning. It's been really obnoxious.
That is pretty long. My friends roped me into Classic WoW, so I get it though.
Zodiac Gamer in the chat actually said, if I lose an EU, it's my team's fault for getting me addicted to Marvel Rivals.
Okay, we're gonna blame Marvel Rivals now for the foregone conclusion.
We've actually not tested in weeks, and then we finally opened TTS up last night and played a game of shitty Byakuo versus shitty Night Eye.
Oh no. That's a bit much, brother. That's a bit much. All right, let's take a quick break here. We got about 15 minutes left in the round for round 2. I'm gonna get, I think, Will Howard in here. So you guys may know him from Universe's games. We're gonna see if I don't break the video ninja again by trying to get Will in here, and he's gonna mix it up on commentary. So we're gonna take a small break. If you guys are interested in the character breakdown, that is on the transition screen. I've got both charts for characters and for symbol breakdown. So check that out. We're gonna be right back in just a few minutes with more Universe's action. You're not gonna want to miss out, guys.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here getting ready as round two winds down. I'm here with Will. Getting prepped
Hey,
for round three. We have
fun
two
time.
barn burner rounds so far.
Yeah, they've been a lot of fun to watch. Kind of on the sidelines and everything. They've been really good.
Anyone you're looking forward to seeing in round three? I know we talked a little bit about who we're thinking about putting on. Chat, is there anyone you're looking forward to seeing? Anyone that you'd prefer?
So for me, I wouldn't say I have anybody in specific that I'm looking for. Honestly I want to see some more of the decks that are like the 1x, like the people that are there with like the 1 or the 2x copies of the decks and everything. And I just have to go look at the numbers again to see what those all were. Because like we've already like I just want to see something that hasn't really come up on the stream yet in the first 2 rounds.
We may have to jump into a couple of tables and find who those people are.
That's fair. I mean, I'm also down just to just I know I know there are a couple that I mentioned you mentioned like Nate, right? And like I'm always down to watch him. I mean, Nate's obviously like a friend of mine, so I'm always down to watch him and harshly critique his gameplay in the sake of fun. So, but yeah, I just want to watch some. I just want to watch some games, man. It's been really fun.
Someone says he's gonna riot watching David's stream. It looks like David's is the last match we are waiting on. So if you're co-watching David's stream, tell him to hurry up.
Now I want to go see. I'm curious what he's going against.
David is. I know what David is playing.
Yeah, I know what he's playing. Oh, that's so funny. So, who said it earlier? Someone said earlier. Omni said no Rodin in the event. And I tune in, and his opponent is playing Rodan.
Nice. Oh, he must be the one Rodan. The one other is the Rodan.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, there's two in the other category in it, and they're paired up.
Oh, nice. Of course. Yeah, it's Yeah, it looks like the kind of the classic like all Rodan stuff. I won't say too much about it, but yeah.
Well,
that's very very funny actually that someone just was saying that there wasn't one.
We'll probably end up with that Rodan on stream later in the day, depending on what their record ends up being. Rodan's usually a good time to watch.
Yeah, it's a tough wall to crack, but the games are usually pretty good to watch. There's a lot. I think that there's some decent back and forth. Sometimes the speed can get a little out of hand, but like there's definitely like Rodan shouldn't be like murdering you super super early unless he draws like incredibly hot.
Yeah, and for the most part, from a stream perspective, when we're looking at it, there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of interesting decisions to be made. We get to actually think about things that might happen. Sometimes we look at a game and we go, "Oh yeah, he's just going to play his fourth walk the dog, and the opponent's going to lose." With Rodan, that's usually not the case. Usually, they're not just going to play 3 focused attacks and their opponent dies. Sometimes, but usually not. Looks like okay. It looks like that match just wrapped up. We are going to get round 3 here in just a moment, and then we'll be transitioning over as those players get to their tables. So bear with us just another couple of minutes as we get round 3 ready to go for you guys. Omni TCG says Rodan mirror matches sound like a ton of fun, honestly. Will, have you played a lot of Rodan mirrors?
That actually is true though, right? Because like that back and forth actually can go pretty big because, um, like if you just keep going back and forth with the speed, right? Like you get the pump, but they get the minus, and like eventually, like if you can't push through hard enough, someone's just gonna deck out, and it's you have to figure out when you like need to not worry about pressing the button to remove a card. To like if you don't care about blocking the move, you just don't remove, and suddenly you start getting ahead in the middle game. If it go like if the games end up going that long.
Yeah. So it looks like one of the people that we wanted to watch is playing against another streamer. So let's hit Nate on table 1.
Sweet.
One. Oh, we got some banger characters here too.
Oh, I love it.
All right. It looks like we got some Irwin Smith 1 and some Hanji Zoe 4 Eyes going at it. There's gonna be some good action here, I think.
I am an avid lover of Irwin 1. No, that character is very, very cool.
I imagine these decks are probably going to look pretty similar if my experience with them is any indication. They're trying to control different stats, but they're doing it in a fairly similar way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gonna probably see. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of the same. At least in my opinion, I think you're gonna see a lot of the same death cards between both the lists, and it's just gonna be the different symbols that each of the characters have. But primarily, that they're going to be doing there's going to be a lot of similarities.
Yeah. Hanji gets to do some really cool stuff with the outwit mechanic from Attack on Titan 2. One of the cooler things that has come out to the game in the last couple of months, sort of the stage trap idea.
Yeah, I don't know what the list looks like, but like you play like your 1x copy of injection, and you just like slide it into your stage at some point at whenever, and suddenly your opponent thinks they have you dead in the water, and unless you have a way to stop the response, and you just win, or you just don't die, which usually ends up meaning you win when they go that hard in as well.
Yeah. Unless your opponent is playing determined advance, and then you feel sad. But that's not going to happen in this game because we don't have those symbols.
We don't have those symbols. You're right.
I got a little peek at Nate's hand, and I saw Tri-Gravity. So this is going to be.
Oh, Nate's just giving everyone a show.
Looks like we may just be waiting on the official timer to start.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And we're off. Yeah. Oh, this is not good. This is a move.
Yeah.
Imagine Nate mulligan this, because I can't imagine we just kept his hand.
No, I can't either. Already seeing a couple similarities of cards. Bracers on both sides makes sense.
Now, Nate's going to have to do a lot to recover here. Looks like our hand is probably only a couple of foundations still.
Oof, and still checks the 3 there. That's unfortunate.
And we've Knots Flashed, we milled our 3, we hit an attack, so we're not getting any value there. I doubt we're gonna flip this struggling with studies. What is Crimson doing? We've Hanji'd. We're gonna full breaker 1 block this. This is a painful turn.
Yeah, we gave Hanj a free foundation for attacking here.
Yeah, build 2 pass. This is rough.
Yeah.
We're falling way behind in the resource game.
Yeah, I don't personally like the random throw out of the attack. I mean, it's almost never gonna connect. You just had to hope that the deck wasn't playing a high block. But even if they're not playing even if they didn't have the high block randomly, you just Hanj and -3 it, and so you're trying to say you just want to only get 1 damage in, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what he could have been hoping for there, because it's not like we wanted the enhanced step to get a card draw off. It feels a little weird, but we're on to Hanji's turn. We're in a battle lore release. This one's going to come in for a lot. We're at 4 face downs. We've Hanji'd. We're hitting I'm with you. It looks like Nate did blow up his committed with Irwin, though. So we've given it -2 speed. I'm going to try to block this. Oh, we got a showdown block with it. So this is going to be crucial.
That's a very good block, though, at least. Our own built-in breaker, too.
Yeah, so we've got the showdown. Are we going to pop the Kiko's aid also? Yeah, we just want to get out of this turn with no more aggression out of Hanji. And it's not going to work. We're just going to keep going. And Max punished on the Hanji side. This looks like is this a Pearl Thunder?
This is the Pearl Hanji's Thunder Spear. This is the 4 diff that has minus difficulty, and if you're at certain health, and it has extra stats if you blow things up.
Yeah, it's going to be big, right? This is it's +2/+1.
Yeah, it's +2/+1. If you've gotten rid of a thing, so this starts off as like a 6 low for 5, and so we can ready up our character, get rid of a couple things, get 3 more damage onto it with enhance if we want to. But we also have bracers as well, right? Like bracers is representing at least like 3 or 4 damage here.
Yeah, it looks like Nate's committing the Knots Flask for -3. Hanji's going to commit to give that damage back. Bracers is going to give it 1 and then a couple more. For chat, for your reference, we're not going to have the life totals updated during this game. So it doesn't look like these players are keeping track of life totals via an app. So we are going to struggle a little bit to keep you updated on life totals. But I'm thinking that one was for 5, 8, 9. I think that one was for somewhere in the 6 range.
It's going to be in like I think it's like the 7 or 8, I want to say, because the bracer should have gotten at least 3, because it saw 2 things blow up at least for Hanj to ready, plus the one that it does itself.
True.
So that's 3. And then obviously Hanj and Flask cancel each other out. So that should have been for at least 8, if not 9.
We got to build 1 afterwards. These players are playing on some pretty light stages.
Yeah. And like we've Also, as Nate's also had to he had to get rid of a foundation right on that turn to make sure that he was able to block. So like he's already on the back foot, and he's like now he's gone even further because of having to blow up his original struggling with studies.
Yeah, it looks like you were right. Nate flashed his life pad, and he has himself at, I believe, himself at 13. So it was for 8.
Okay. Yep.
This is a determined dive. Builds top 3 deck face down committed.
Yep, and then also it also
wall
draw a
counter.
card.
Or it draws a card if you have a wall counter. Is that that right? Okay.
Yep. This was the card that had to get the that had the accidental token left on it.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 4-depth cantrips are great, right? And you're already doing the wall thing. Like this is, it's fine. It gets you an extra foundation that you get to use for Irwin now. We have a flexible -2 speed that is committed, so it's not doing anything anyway. And it replaces itself. So this is and it doesn't look like we had anything come out of on the other side. Out of Crimson, so I'm assuming he just took the, I believe, 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's a great turn. It's a great way to start a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, so it should be 13-17. Nate built 4, has a relatively healthy stage now.
Let's just hope Nate remembers to gain his wall counter on his character.
No shot. We don't do that.
Yeah, it's a big deal. He'd be 1 away from the break point to be able to rebuild. So effectively, that committed foundation would be able to say blow up for -2 speed and then get to rebuild it immediately. And now we have to blow up 2 things instead to be able to get a rebuild. Oh, there we go. Opponent is letting him bring it back.
Oh, we're building 4. I was like, what are we just discarding cards? What are we doing? But that is the way that Crimson is just building his card pool. Okay. So
that's great for
super
great
wide.
for Nate. Yeah, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 foundations plus bracers. Means the turn that we want to go in, we have a lot of real estate on our board.
I've played against some Hanji decks that can really put out numbers. I mean, this is, if Nate overextends here, this could be a scary turn on the comeback. But Nate's leading off with 5. Determined Dive is a 3 high 4 base, right? So it's a 5 high 4 right now.
Yeah, 3 high 4, 3 high 5. I want to say. Uh, 3 high 5.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we say that we don't want the Irwin to overextending. Luckily, his character does kind of like insulate him a little bit from that because he gets to kind of build throughout the turn. Effectively, every 2 attacks he gets to build 1 card if the first attack connects. So it does mean that he gets to apply a little bit of pressure, but yeah, you've got to know when to turn the brakes off.
Yeah, you've got to keep your hand advantage in the right spot too, right? If you're not drawing the cantrips, then you could have a healthy stage, but if you don't have the cards, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you need the cards to defend afterwards. Plus, obviously, Hans on the other side has a completely open stage. The only way that this Hans is going to take damage this turn is if they want to.
Yeah. And
or if for somehow, whatever reason, they don't have a certain block zone.
Yeah, we got a Battle Lord here coming in. There's another cantrip, so we're doing good, keeping our hand size full. We caught another flash in Nate's hand. He's got a Tri-Gravity Beam, so we're going to get to peek at Crimson's hand probably after this as well.
We're also notably overloading the high zone right now. This Determined Dive, I think, also hit. It just didn't hit for a ton. And so we are saying that, You got to keep you got to have multiple of these high blocks in your hand if you want to be able to do anything. But I would assume that Tri Gravity is going to be following this Battle Aura up.
Yeah, for sure. And then the Tri-Gravity beam is so powerful because you're going to get to peek at the hand and then kind of realize like whether you should continue or not.
Yep. It's I guarantee this Tri Gravity Beam is not going to be to try and push through to kill. It is going to be to figure out the best card in his hand going into Hanji's next turn and being able to snipe it out of the hand. Is my take on this Tri Gravity Beam. It's probably going to be coming down.
So it looks like we blew up 2 to ready Hanji. One of them was an I'm with you, and then we committed Hanji to give this Battle Aura -5.
Yeah, this Battle Aura is not hitting for a ton. Luckily, Orwin doesn't matter. He just cares that it at least connects, which is at least still giving him some wall counters. So, like, we even commit one here, but we can just take off those 3 counters from our character. We get to rebuild. We have a ready stage again.
Oh, this hand is hot.
That is a 5 diff. Is that? I don't remember what. It was one of the on it. Okay,
it's a secret rare.
Yeah.
Could be Irwin's final charge, maybe.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's probably final charge. You're right.
And Irwin's final charge is. Oh, we're gonna block with it, so we don't have to worry about it at least.
Oh, yeah, that's final charge. The line in the middle is the part that is the standout part for that art.
Oh, we've got another one.
It's a real game ender for oh wait.
Should I get 3 here on this? Yeah, should I get 3 here on this second Tri-Gravity view is a little rough. It is gonna rip the last card out of Crimson's hand though, if we pass it.
Yeah, I think Nate has a final charge in his hand as well. I think the plan was we just check running 5s and we use this Tri-Grav to get the last card out, and then the final charge just blows up the entire board and kills. But it's less likely now.
There's the next one's on a 9. We don't have enough to rebuild with Irwin, right?
So Nate didn't remember because you get a wall counter from the Tri-Gravity Beam, and then you get a wall counter from Irwin as well.
Yeah. So Nate's just not managing his counters very well.
Yeah. He would have. Oh, okay. Never mind. He hadn't done it yet. There we go. Okay.
Oh, but it looks like. Did we just miss a card draw on Hanji's board? Because it looks like Crimson has a card in hand now.
Oh, maybe we did. Maybe Nate did miss did I miss the Botan's coaching? Maybe. There might have been a Botan's coaching still amongst all of those foundations. It was one of the first things he built.
Yeah, and we got hit with another breaker 1 block. It was a half block, but that means that if this is a final charge or something, we can't pass it without a 6 check.
Yeah, we can't pass that. We can't pass it now, so we just have to. Man, that's the Vile Seizing is probably the only block that he could have also drawn to be able to stop this from happening.
And we would have checked a 3 anyway, so
yeah, it didn't matter in the long run.
And choosing
little bit of an oversight on Nate's part. If I mean, I don't think you're ever supposed to go for that if you have if they have the Botan's coaching. So there is a way to redraw. You take your hit from before. You ripped out one of the best cards in his hand. You build out 1 or 2 more, and then you just you survive.
Mm-hmm. So this Battle Aura coming down, Hanji activating. It's going to be big, like always. All of Hanji's attacks are big when she needs them to be. Irwin's got the block, though, committing all but one card to commit to it. We're in a precarious position as Nate, though.
Yeah, this one's a rough one right now.
Oh, and we're losing our best defensive piece right now.
Yeah, that had to be ripped off the top from the Battle Aura. I don't imagine a world where we would ever not lead with that card instead. So that's a big one. That was, I mean, it's the 3 damage. It could come to be like pretty close to exact where that 3 might have mattered, depending on what else is in his hand right now. But ultimately, I mean, between everything the only thing I think that really will be able to save Nate here is he's going to have some, at least a copy of Genkai's maybe is like the only out that I can see possibly happening to where he loses this turn.
I mean, Genkai's is just buying him a turn to rebuild, right? That's not actually going to progress him toward a winning game state.
Sure. But it is not dying, at least.
I wonder if is Crimson going to try to get this one to lethal?
I would. You present lethal on this move, which forces him to have to be able to block it. And either he doesn't, right? Either the check fails or uses up a fair amount of resources. But it is making sure that cards are being used. Also, does Nate? How many cards does Nate have left in hand?
He's got a decent amount.
2 or 3. Yeah.
But this is going to be a final charge. And how many are we doing? Doing all 5? You think?
Yeah. Oh, you always are. You have to give it the speed.
Yeah, and there's the scoop.
Yep. He had to have the Genkai's there to be able to stop it.
Yeah.
So
that game snowballed from turn 1. I think the build 1 plus the asset on turn 1 was the end of the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looked a little promising there. It looked a little promising on turn 3. He got a little bit of chip damage in with his cantrip, built like 4 foundations. It was doing okay, but it was still a amount. It's still a lot that he had to come back from. So
yeah,
surely our 7-hander won't get bricked with 1 foundation, 1 asset, or I mean even less than 3 foundations. Between this hand and a mulligan hand, you can hopefully have a slightly better feeling game between both of them.
Well, he appears to have kept his first one this time, so
yeah,
must be happy with it. Taking a risky build though.
Build 4. might not have had any zeros in hand, but that double shrewd says that Irwin now says -4 speed on all of your rivals' moves. One of the better cards to find.
Everything, and Hanji's not manipulating speed, right? She's just manipulating damage, so anything and everything is blockable.
Yep.
From Hanji's side, we're leading with the card is Greater Goal, right? And
yes, the Greater Goal.
Oh, and we failed the second one. Would you have failed that? Because we checked a 4 on that, right?
Did we? I think if we. So here's the reason why is you're committing 1 to build an extra card by putting that foundation into play. Whereas instead, if you decide to just keep your character up, you've turned your commit one to build a foundation into commit one to build a foundation, but also add -3 damage onto it as well. Now, obviously, this doesn't matter. It would have been the correct play because Nate is not attacking. But in the world where Nate attacks, it is actually the preferred one. Just because you're going to commit Hanj anyway on defense, you might as well commit and get -3 damage and just have a face down instead.
Sure, I think because it was a -2 damage when you blow it up foundation, I might have considered passing it. Just because you could then ready Hanji and give it -4 damage by blowing those two up. But
yeah,
we've moved past that.
True.
And Hanji's just going for another full build here. We've got
oh man,
enormous axe, an always cool, a desperate plea, it looks like.
Yep.
And this is an averse to water. That's an interesting one. I haven't seen a lot of people playing averse to water.
I have not either. Ooh, you know why I bet people are playing that card? Because there's so much Godzilla running around, right? There's a lot of there's a fair amount of I'd say there's a fair amount of stuff that has the life in the water symbol in attack lineups, right? That people are playing realistically.
Yeah, Kraken, Smashing Stomp.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those.
Midst to Despair, right? There's a fair number of cards that are being played that have both of those symbols. Battle Lore Release is still a very, very played card.
Yep. So for the urban side, we are leading here with a Deception Dagger, which is a staple card that's been around for a while. We have Eaton a Botan's Coaching. And it's at -1 damage right now. And we're going for the block. Oh, we're getting to... Yeah, man, Desperate Plea is so powerful. Getting to build this Grenadier Bracers off of the block is such a powerful move. And looks like we've got a retro version of Falling Heel Strike coming in.
Oh man, OG Falling Heel Strike, man.
We have a flip cost ability on our stage. Can we enable this at all?
So the greater goal says response flip a foundation. After one or more foundations are destroyed, you give a move +2 or -2 damage. So you can indeed, blow up one of your things and then flip something and then unflip. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Got hit with a breaker 1 block. That is 3 of our Vile Seasons from Hanji's side gone, though, so those are not going to be available for most of the game.
Yeah, that's incredibly good for our deck that is playing Falling Heel Strike, Battle Lore Release, and Determined Dive. We have a bunch of high moves. I wonder if Nate even has any low attacks in his deck. We have not. I don't believe we have seen any.
Yeah, we've definitely seen Deception, Irwin's Final Charge, Battle Aura, Falling. I'm not thinking of one.
Yeah, I don't believe one has shown up at all.
Going back to Hanji's offensive term, we're leading off with a classic.
Oh, our tried and true.
Just going to replace ourselves here. Nate's going to give it -4 speed.
Yeah. We're in a world again where we're in the opposite world now. Where like that turn before on the last game, our Hanj was going to be able to block anything that they wanted to. it's going to be kind of probably the same way now for Irwin. We have -4 speed. We're not really pumping any speed on any of these moves unless it's in Irwin's final charge. Nate, as long as he has the block zones, he's going to be able to block pretty much anything that he wants to.
Yeah.
-4 is an incredible amount of speed hate for almost effectively free. Right, one-time foundation is like still a cost, but our committed foundations aren't doing anything anyway. What is that card that Nate has on his board? The one that is committed right now. Oh man. I think I know what one that is.
Yeah, I can't get a good look at it, but I feel like it's his Titan injection. It is.
Yeah, that's the only one that made sense. Nice. I mean, we can easily flip that card. We have greater goal. We can easily get that card flipped.
All right, and for Hanji, we've got a second battle aura. I've seen this show before. You're gonna just keep playing 4-diff cantrips until our opponent runs out of high blocks. We're stacking up the storm counters on the Grenadier bracers. Nate's going to use the Knots Flask to give this one a little bit of minus damage. Not wanting to commit another block to this one just yet. Wonder if Crimson will fight over the damage on this one. Looks like he's going to. He's going to get back up to printed. Then we're going to give it the face down stats. This is going to be for 8. 9. This is a solid chunk of Nate's life total, even after we've used the Knots Flask.
That's interesting. We had to. Oh, we're probably fishing for a high block here. Because we could have, if we had the high block, we might not have wanted to worry about getting rid of our shrew, because now we only have -3 speed on all of our moves instead.
Mm-hmm.
So we are for sure fishing for a high block here, and I don't think we
didn't
dropped that
find
mid block, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to take 5 off of this, I believe, on the half block.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, this could be brutal. Tri-gravity beam is going to come in and look at Nate's hand.
We do have a struggling with studies for Nate, so worst case, we just re-pick up our Knots Flask here.
Yeah.
But we do still get to snipe this Irwin's final charge, probably.
Yeah, I don't think there's another choice. There's no way I'm taking the Shining Flash here.
No, and it also forces Nate to use the struggling. If he wants to. Interesting. I guess he's.
I don't understand, but okay.
Yeah, we're trying to maybe protect our momentum for the following turn. And I guess this is us saying that Nate's could just go ahead and block with it anyway.
I mean, the other choice is he has another Tri-gravity beam.
True. Yes, he could also just have another Tri-gravity beam. But as Nate, you can play around that.
Injection? What is happening? What? I know we don't have the momentum, but why?
Depending on the life totals, my thought process is only because he does not want to get rid of any of his ready foundations. He's probably going to block with the Irwin charge from his hand now at this point. And this is basically him saying he's trying to make this as easy as possible to block. If there is a final charge coming, he needs to have as many ready resources as possible available to him. And so the game has a potential to end over the next couple of turns. And him getting the momentum might not even happen.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
This is
This play works if there's a final charge. If there is a tri-gravity beam coming though, this play will backfire horrendously. And it's just a matter of which one our player has.
I mean, my read based on the fact that the tri-gravity beam didn't take our mid block is that there's another tri-gravity beam coming. But we'll see what happens after a few more enhances. It looks like we're playing a few more things, getting this Grenadier Bracer stormed up a little bit. We found some speed from somewhere. I'm not sure what exactly Crimson blew up to give this speed. Blocking with the final charge. Check the 5. That's as good as we're getting. We can't commit to struggling with studies. This is... Oh, we're going to look to just blind draw a card. This seems very sketchy.
Apologies, needed to get something
there we
louder.
No, you're good. We've committed the final charge to the block. It looked like at first Nate was going to commit to struggling with studies, and he immediately realized that we are not allowed to do that because we will lose the game.
Oh. This move is
lethal.
This move is lethal, but I don't know if it's lethal on half.
Well, it's also got a high block.
It's also a high, which we do have a high block in our card pool.
Yeah, we had to commit the shrewd observations though, right? So we just have the -2 speed from Irwin, and Lunar Ring starts at a 4 speed move. Am I right there?
Yes. Yeah, it starts as a 4.
So with -2, it'll be 2. Our high block is a 3. So we'll be blocking on a 7. If we check a 3, we still die.
Yeah, if we can make this move, if this move isn't lethal on half, we pick up the better block then, and we guarantee the block rather than risking dying.
Mm-hmm.
4, 5, 6.
But I would imagine, based on how many foundations have been blown up, that between, because it's effectively double Grenadier Bracers, right? Because Lunar Ring has that same text.
Oh, I mean, we picked up the mid block, so we're saying we're gonna half this. Maybe Nate's life total is pretty healthy. Yeah, there's been a ton of foundations that have been destroyed though, so.
I wonder if Nate knows Lunar, or both of them know Lunar Ring counts the foundations Nate has destroyed also.
Yeah. Because Nate's gotten rid of at least we've had at least probably 4 things I'd say leave Nate's stage.
Like this Lunar Ring should be for 30, probably. Like if we commit the bracers to it.
The only downside to not having the apps is not having exact numbers.
Yeah.
I think they're going through I wonder if they're just going through and counting right now. Trying to figure out exactly how much. Yeah, we're committing the bracers. The fact that makes sense.
The fact that Nate wasn't counting how many he blew up, and I don't know if anyone ever thinks that Lunar Ring counts your opponent's stuff.
Yeah, the card definitely not known for being it's not known for the second enhance, right? This card is definitely, in my opinion, it's still its best ability is still the top one. Assets are incredibly relevant. Yeah, interested to know if that math were like if we involved Nate's cards, if we didn't track Nate's as well. Um, I wonder if those would have put it to lethal if we counted Nate's things that he got rid of as well that turn.
Yeah, hard to know without their audio, but
Yeah.
we're gonna see what Nate does on the crackback. We're gonna lead off with a determined dive. It looks like. Start off with a good check.
Yep. We do have a little bit to fight through. We have a copy of Always Cool that is most certainly sitting there waiting for an Irwin's final charge to be played. And so I think the goal is going to be getting him low enough to where that does not matter, or presenting two moves that are powerful enough to make that card get used beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Nate's playing loss of consciousness to just seal it?
I would assume so. I don't I can't think of a world where why you wouldn't want to have that card in your deck as Irwin. Being able to just to steal something um almost whenever you want, right, is very good. And is since we are playing the death symbol, we also have access to like Botan's coaching, which lets us be able to use that to discard it and all. Since he just cares about entering the discard pile. So like, I'd assume some copies of Loss of Consciousness are in the deck. But there's a world where he's already checked all of them. The face down foundations, unless he hits one off the top, right? I mean, who knows what those are?
Yeah, not knowing, I haven't been able to keep track of exactly what Hanji's life total is, so I don't know how close she actually is to dying on this turn. We're being told that Hanji is at 21 and Nate is at 9.
Okay.
We're just done. Nate's just going to build out. Looks like we got a poke in for one or four.
Yeah, I would assume it's well, I'm sorry, hold on. If Hanja's at 21, yeah, that I guess I got taken away and everything, so I had one or two probably. Another cool outwit card though that Nate's playing. He's playing the risky gamble, the one diff that he built there at the end. It's the one that says that if after your rival draws one or more cards, you also get to draw one. But it also has it's a very good deadlock. It's just enhance flip and destroy a rival foundation. So
yeah, I've had that card comboed with Botan's coaching on me, and that's very tilting.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, and so actually, this is really good here. Hanji went to 11 foundations. So we get to deadlock enhance with this risky gamble and get rid of whatever problematic thing we want to.
Unflip it, do it again.
Never mind. Our opponent now has the opportunity to get out of deadlock if they want to. I am incredibly confused.
There's a lesson on sequencing, chat. Sequencing is so important, especially when your opponent builds to exactly 11.
I'm not crazy, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They just blew. Yeah, they had 11.
10, yeah. 11, yeah.
Yep. They were at 11. You could have flipped, gotten rid of whatever you wanted to. Probably the always cool. You'd then be able to. You don't even have to unflip it with falling heel strike because it has an outwit, so it's going to do it itself anyway.
I mean, you wouldn't have been able to do the risky gamble twice because the first one would have put them out of deadlock. But
sure, but you could unflip it to then say that as soon as if they go into deadlock, you immediately can do it again. But I do
Yep.
agree that unflipping our copy of Pushing the Limit was good. It is another way to draw cards. Yeah, and Nate probably just didn't realize that he was in deadlock.
On webcam, it is sometimes a little hard.
Yeah.
Anytime the
face
games go
downs blend
long,
together.
I like to just ask my opponent, "Are you in deadlock?"
Yep. Definitely. Yeah, never be shy to ask your opponents if they have a large stage. If they're in deadlock, they might be exactly at 11. And I've done it. I certainly have built, and at the end of the turn, when I was asked, and I counted, and I realized I had 11 foundations, and then I died for it. So
happens to the best of us.
yep.
Sometimes you go to 12, and then you're like, "Oh, I can't even get out of deadlock. My bad."
Yep. Yeah. You're at 11 and they get rid of the only way to get out. You're at 12 and you have to wait a little bit extra longer. Hanj at least gets to get out of deadlock a little bit easier, and you just use your character to destroy too. But yeah, I don't think it'll come up. Although we haven't found a way to actually flip our copy of Gamble yet, unless we want to just use it with Greater Goal. So definitely a slightly, just a little bit of a miss thing, being able to get rid of a random foundation that was problematic, but might not mean a ton in the long run.
Yeah, we're entering a board state here where someone is going to cycle soon, and what
I'm
happens on
thinking
the
it's going to be Hanj. Hanj probably will.
yeah, what happens on the cycle could play a big factor if the cycler, if whoever cycles first removes 7, 8, 9 attacks that we've seen happen before, that could be a big punishment.
This game is going to get, unless someone dies in the next couple of turns, this game is going to have to get to a point where the person who is behind is going to have to realize they're behind, and concede. I don't know how we're doing on time.
Well, it can't be Nate, right? Because he lost game 1.
Sure, yeah. So Nate, yeah, that's fair. Nate never can, but this, but Crimson or Hanj, if they don't push a ton of damage to this turn, if they're losing the race to milling out, there is a world where they're gonna have to realize that and uh, and concede to go to game 3 if they want to opt to get the win. If they don't mind playing that long and getting to a draw, then obviously you play it out. But there's a real world where this match could end in a draw with how long the second game is going.
Yeah, and it looks like we got about 20 minutes left in the round. If my if my looks at the time are right. So yeah,
we've got only about 20 minutes left. You're right.
It's going to start being a consideration soon, like you said, and
I'm of the belief that if this Sanj doesn't get kill this turn, there is a real world that they might want to go next, because I don't think they're gonna get a better opportunity after this turn. Our block zones are incredibly secure for Nate.
Yeah.
But with that said, I mean, Nate has been building a ton with his character and also drawing a ton of cards as well. So we don't know the exact number in their lists and everything, but maybe Nate is behind on the mill game. We can't see his removed from game pile right now, so we don't know how many cards have actually been removed. We know at least 2, because of 2 copies of Tri-Gravity Beam.
Both of the decks look pretty thin. I can't really get a read, but yeah, this is one of those stalemate games where someone's either gonna have to make a move or.
Ooh. Okay. Nate accidentally knocking one off. I think he's also kind of realizing the time constraints right now, and is just trying to move very fast. Oh yeah, now we're not even playing another attack. So Nate's got to do it in this turn. He's got to do it in this turn, or this game We're
Nate is
probably end in a
cycling
draw.
first.
Oh, there's a world where this Hans just doesn't even try and go in anymore and just says, if you can kill me, kill me. I wonder if this Hans is playing a copy of Titan Injection in their list.
I'm pretty sure we saw one earlier.
For the Hans, I know we saw one on the Irwin side. I don't remember the Hans side.
Maybe I'm misremembering. I thought we saw one in game 1. But I could just be wrong.
Can ask chat. Chat always remembers things like that.
It does look like Nate just drew a grip of orange cards, though. So if there's a time, it's now.
And it's another good one. It is a cantrip.
Did we just not?
Oh, we
did we just both risky gamble? That's very funny.
Oh, that's very funny. Yes, I believe we did. I think that one might be an alternate for it, but I think we did both risky gamble.
Do you think as Nate you would actually pop your risky gamble here, knowing that you're down on the resource war and you need to kill your opponent?
Yes, I would. Our opponent's going to be very in and out of deadlock, right? So the deadlock's not going to come up. It's a committed resource, so you're not going to get a chance to outwit with it until next turn. You might as well use it to pump the speed when you can. Although I think we've already pumped the speed for this move, but definitely is a resource we don't mind getting rid of right now.
What I mean is it like we committed it when it could have been a ready resource that we committed as a check.
No, so I think you always still do that because you're Irwin, so like you get to just use these committed foundations for free 2 speed basically, and you get to keep rebuilding. So like he has 3 wall counters, so this committed foundation that we just had, we get to just take these 3 counters off and just turn it into a face down now instead.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I think you always do the look. This also committed a foundation right on the Hanji's board, so it did effectively stun them by 1/2. And again, it's a committed foundation in a character like Hanj, so those also have very free uses. So they're not really that bad when you have to commit them.
Yeah, it looks like on the Hanji side, we've popped the learning the standards, which is really going to stuff the Irwin's card pool for the rest of this turn, as we're going to see if Nate can push through. We have time left.
We
Popping the Wild Wild Pussycats makes me think Nate's not going to keep attacking here.
I don't believe so. That's an unfortunate hit, though. I think he got rid of a Deception Dagger and an Irwin's Charge with that Pussycats. Those are 2 very big moves. The risky gamble of destroy makes even more sense now. We have another copy being able to be rebuilt, which is great.
Yeah,
So what would you do here as the Hanj player? What are you doing as you go into this turn?
Play an attack. Press some buttons. Build 2 pass.
I don't even think we have to build 2. I think you only have to build like I don't even think you have to play
build
attack.
1.
Unless the attack is a cantrip, but like build 1 pass, I think is completely reasonable. Although that deck is incredibly thin.
Yeah, I would play an attack just to push some buttons and spend some time on the clock, but I would keep a healthy hand, 5-6 cards. Nate does not appear to be spending any effort to push the envelope, right?
Yeah. the you know I sat and thought about it for a second. The one attack is actually pretty decent because you know for sure that Nate probably has some more attacks in his hand, right? And the only reason why it was like that learning the standard really does like make things very awkward. And so if we force out a couple of blocks from Nate, like these are just attacks that he's losing if he's having to block with them. Now, obviously, he could have a couple more foundations still in his hand to block with as well. But like, if he's just holding a ton of gas here, pressuring his hand is a good idea.
And are we in a position where this, like, is Nate low enough that this Thunder Spear is just lethal?
Well, we did right the last time that we checked. Nate was at 9.
I think he's gained a couple of life from Immortal Shapeshifters since then, but
yeah, I don't know if you can ever get this to lethal, but you can make this pretty threatening.
well, that's powerful, right? He has momentum.
Oh, you are right. Yes, I'm sorry. It does have powerful. Man, that card's so cool. I love that card.
It starts at 5. Hanji makes it 8. Grenadier Bracers can make it like 10 plus powerful. They can make it lethal. Like obviously Nate has a low block and speed control and a million foundations, so it's inconsequential. It can be blocked, but we have a second one.
Oh, a second copy. Sheesh. Yeah. Now the question is, do we have the second low block? Yeah. And then after this move, we don't attack again.
For sure, yeah. Unless your hand is 5 more attacks and you're definitely killing them.
Sure, yes. That's fair. Yeah, if our hand is like 1 more attack here, we definitely don't press it. We don't want to give Nate the opportunity to use this struggling with studies and rebuy his attack.
It's also so interesting. I think.
I'm sorry. He always cooled that, right?
Did he?
Yeah, he used always cool. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm understanding now. Yeah, Nate. So very cool. Nate uses always cool, but then in the response to always cool being destroyed, he gets to flip one of his foundations to give it -2 damage. So it gets to go down to 2
-2,
and then it's just locked at 2 damage. Yeah.
Well, should be locked at 3 because the static.
Oh sure, yes.
Applies. Yeah.
Well, has the Hunt blown anything up this turn?
Well, Irwin has.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it is A. Yep. It does not matter if it is you, so it should be for 3.
The Hanj also has like so much damage pump. I think that's a enormous axe in the middle of all their face downs, right? Yeah. So that's worth.
Oh yeah.
That's worth a handful of damage on a commit cost. Nate has infinite mid blocks.
That's so many mid blocks.
I mean, we're taking the battle order, right? You just don't. You're not allowed to have that.
Yeah, we take battle aura. Nate should use this struggling with studies to pick up this falling heel strike. We still have a mid block after. I guess you don't have to. It's another one of those, if you think that he's going to attack more, you hold the struggling with studies for now.
Yeah, I would leave the struggling with studies just to pick up
It's a failsafe.
Block zones once you're out of the right ones. You could just block with the flask here. Or the bracers, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Hanji can't keep going, right? We just stop. Unless
we only have 3 cards. We only have 3 cards in hand right now, I think. Yeah, we only have 3 cards in hand right now. I don't know what. I mean, I know we have axe, we have bracers, we have a ton of damage still to output, but yeah, this is correct.
We're done. This feels. We only have 2 cards now, right?
Yes, we only have 2 cards now.
Pushing the limit
But
will let us draw.
pushing limit does give us 1. Sorry, we do have 3. Oh, this is just unfortunate.
Yeah. The Tri-Gravity Beam is so powerful because like it just ripped a cantrip out of Nate's hand, and then Nate didn't draw more attacks. So he, even though he had 1 cantrip, he can't go now. We've been in this stalemate in game 2 for ages, it feels like.
Oh, this might be the way that breaks it too.
I don't think Nate's in deadlock though, is he?
Oh no, he's at 12.
6. Okay.
So unless he has Genkai's here to kick this away and get out of deadlock at the same time. Now all this does really is just negate the -2 speed of Irwin, but I mean that could be enough. Ha.
Risky gambling each other again. Oh,
I am not a fan of double risky gambling myself on the offense here, unless we need to find the attacks, which I think definitely says that we need to find them.
Which I just don't believe that's true, right? Because you won game 1, and we're running out of time.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about pushing this through. So we have stunned ourselves for 2, which yes, we can just like use Hanj, build something down for 3 damage, and now we can go ahead and blow both of these up to ready.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess Nate is low enough that like all of these moves require an answer because this is now for 9-ish.
9, 10.
Oh, this is a showdown. This is rough.
It's a very good block. Always cool and pushing. Yep. That just is.
No, I think he's hitting the enormous axe to stop any damage pump.
I just don't believe in a world that Nate's going to die in this turn. And so you might as well just get rid of some of the extra card draw. But I mean, I guess we're still going, but that also hurts us pretty bad. The thing for me is like this enormous axe is just going to get rebuilt.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to blow it up, and
so instead of doing that, we get the 1 extra card draw. And so we've gotten this far, but like unless this game is going to be ending here in just a second, and this is like the last turn, which
I just don't see a world where that's the case, right? Like
we are almost in overtime.
Okay, so Nate did go first, right?
Mm-hmm.
He lost game 1, so
yeah.
If we hit overtime during this turn, this is the last turn.
Oh, so we are just this is for sure just kind of pressing the buttons to probably take us into overtime. Now I don't know I don't know what it means because there wasn't any time delay for us to be able to get in here to watch this, so this should be on the same timer as everybody else.
Yeah,
so
we haven't been doing anything like that, so if my count is correct, like you said, they should be going into overtime within the next 60 seconds.
Yeah. Nate needs to not take any sort of extra time on doing any of his game actions right now. And he may not know that they're about to go into overtime, to be fair. He might know that they're close, but he might not know that it's about to happen.
And
Yeah.
if I mean, I think if Hanji has one more attack, we're going into overtime during.
Yeah.
This game is over. Nate might not actually die during this attack, but we're gonna hit overtime, and this is gonna be the last turn. Time and round is in 3 minutes, according to Sam, but I don't know when that was sent. So we believe it. We believe they're hitting time and round.
I was gonna say we. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say
Okay.
it just got there was just a notification that time in the round we're in
Yeah.
overtime.
So
So
this should be the last turn of the game.
Yeah.
We should be seeing a 1-0 victory from Hanji. There's a second showdown.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean none of these. And we're just kind of going through the motions right now, but these none of these emotions necessarily matter.
Yeah, I mean Hanji, like I guess for tiebreaker purposes, winning 2-0 is better than winning 1-0. So the Hanji may finish going through the motions to attempt to get the second game win.
And so I kind of want to just look at the game now because like I don't even know where either player really made any like crucial mistakes. Um, our Hans player played very very good defense. I think they literally only took like 1 or 2 damage maybe. Um, and I mean Nate, I think just a couple times just some of the draws like that last turn he just didn't get a good draw to go into, and like I mean that's the turn he needed it, and he just didn't have anything. The only thing that maybe that could have gone differently this game is Nate just maybe needed to push through the lane in the standards.
Yeah, I think Nate needed to be more aggressive. Down a
Yeah,
game in a game that took a little bit of time. Um,
with a deck that doesn't really pump a ton of damage. Like it can, but it doesn't do it as consistently as Hanj. So you're having to
yeah,
fight this -3 damage, minus 5, 7. Um, yeah, I think that might be the only turn really was just like that learning the standards turn that he just like he attacked once, played a battle aura release, played a immortal shapeshifter and passed with 3 more attacks in hand. Yeah, I think his hand was like double battle aura release and a falling heel strike. He just needed to. Yeah, I think he just needed to try and push that turn. Really, hindsight's 2020. Obviously, you can't expect that you were gonna go into your next turn with not drawing anything.
yeah, and it's Hanji drew their. Oh man, we're just gonna keep playing the moves. This is brutal. Just let him die already, Hanji.
Okay, we're going back to look at what we want to actually commit.
I mean,
I think this is just lethal here,
for,
honestly.
this is
I
probably
think,
lethal, right?
yeah, this should
for
just be
11?
lethal. I know it's a 2 high. We still have
I guess after -2 damage, it's only for 9, and Nate's probably gained some life, so Nate's probably above 9, so this might not be lethal.
Oh no, we bracers it, so it's definitely above that.
I think we bracered the.
We might have braced. Okay.
But yeah, Nate is
Nope.
scooping them up. So that'll do it for round 3. We are in overtime, so we'll talk for a little bit. I don't know if Sam is going to take us to break while everyone gets round 3 wrapped up and ready for round 4. But okay, that was an exciting round. A little bit of grindy control deck action there for everybody. You heard Will and I talking. We don't think anybody necessarily did anything wrong. Both players played good defense. Nate just couldn't put together a hard offensive string, and Hanji with the damage reduction was able to push it through.
Yeah, there were a couple little things that like, and I don't know if they amounted to anything in the long run. There was like the couple of deadlock misses, um, that Nate had, but yeah, I don't think there was anything. The deck just really didn't work for him, right? We saw that in game one. He built one and then built one asset, and then yeah, that second game just like did not draw the attacks to try and push through after on that following turn. So I don't think there was really anything wrong done by either player. It was great gameplay either way.
Yeah, I really like the Hanji deck. The damage reduction aspect of it just pushes it, I think, it over the edge the for me versus the controlling the speed aspect. But we'll see what the players do over the next couple of rounds and how the top 8 looks to start shaking out. I think we're gonna go to a quick break while round 4 gets paired up and ready to go. We'll see you
Awesome.
guys here shortly.
Hey there, everybody. What's... Oh, my camera's not quite set. Oh, well. We're going to be switching to the webcam overlay in just a minute. We're going to table 8. We're going to have TC versus Barlow, two of the more formidable winter warriors throughout these last couple webcam events. So this one should be an absolute banger. We don't have characters or anything yet. I'm going to get the overlay set up. But Will, did you follow like the winter webcam stuff with the David Tomb circuit at all?
I followed it a little bit. I think we were pretty busy when it was going on, but I